Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Eric here, guys, with the TRD Squad. Bringing you guys my version of the updated Earth Machine deck. This deck is still super fun to play with, still competitive, still consistent. Good, solid rogue deck that can play against the meta or compete against the meta. Yeah, and we do have like a budget deck here going on. I've checked the prices recently on most of these cards. They're all still pretty cheap. Most cards being under like $2 or less. And multiple reprints, of course. So there's always a variety of ways you can go in purchasing these cards as well. And we do have like one or two cards here that are slightly more than what I would call like, not budget cards, but we'll give you guys like some alternatives, some other options you can play with. But anyways, guys, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. So to kind of start things off, guys, for the Ultimate Machine deck, we're playing a Machina engine, which is like our largest engine in the deck as well. So we're playing three Machina gear frame, the one on Clasper, the Fortress, the Metal Cruncher, Citadel, Ruin Force, and then three redeployments just to kind of search these cards out. This is a really good solid engine here. We've cut back a little bit like on some of the cards like Metal Cruncher, but that's because we have multiple starters. We're also playing another different engine that kind of supports Earth monsters as well. I'm going to showcase you guys here in the deck profile. And it's one of the combo videos how that particular engine works as well. But yeah, this is kind of it for the Machina part of the engine right here. We're also still playing like a small Infinitrack engine as well. It's just a solid good engine to help you get into your combos and stuff like that. Playing the two Harvester, two Dozer, the one Trencher, the one Tunneler, and then just two Heavy Forwards to kind of search these cards out. You don't need to play anything more though. However, though, if you guys want to add cards, you can. But it's honestly pretty good enough. We're not playing the original like draw two cards every turn because we do have like other cards that we do play now. But this is still a really good solid engine to get your deck going. For the level 10s, we're playing the one Super Express Bullet Train, the two Derrick Crane as well. And then we're playing the one Ancient Gearbox, just kind of like a break if you draw it. Now, we are playing two Therion King Regulus. I know this is not like a really budget card. It has gone down in price quite a bit from where it used to be. It's gone from like $30 to like $28 now. If you don't want to pay for it, and I understand. I got one in a booster pack and the other one actually purchased. But you actually don't need to play these two. These are just, it kind of just helps you out like having an Omni Negate, which is sort of helpful when you're playing this deck out. However, though, if you do want like more of a budget option, you can also play like two Skill Drain, or also you can just play like the one copy of Regulus, and then you can play like the field spell that searches Regulus. Other than that, though, like for the most part, you don't necessarily need to play three copies because you search this card pretty easily. And if you're playing the field spell, it's even easier just to get it to your hand as well. But like I said, yeah, there's other options you can play like Skill Drain, Hand Traps, things of that sort. Yeah. Other than that, though, this card does put up a lot of work. It's a really good card because it provides you with that one Omni Negate. And then like the new cards that we've kind of added to the deck are going to be what I call the Winnie the Pooh package or the Winnie the Pooh cards. Playing two of the Awakening Forest, two of the Thawing Mountains, and the two Flourishing Hills. And these cards are just really good because these cards help you play through interruptions. Like if you normal summon Gear Frame and it gets Imperm, Ash, or Veilard, and if you have like Harvester in hand or Metal Cruncher with one of these cards, you can still go full combo because these cards help you bring out those cards from the hand so that way you don't always rely on your normal summon. And honestly, these cards are really good too because you can some of them act as Foolish Burial, some of them allow you to draw cards, and then like the Flourishing Hills just allows you to add any one of these while also giving you an extra summon from the graveyard. So yeah, really good cards, and honestly, really good cheap cards that can do quite a bit for this deck. And then we're playing like a trap heavy deck here. If you guys want to play hand traps, of course you can play that as well. But when I was looking online for like the way people are playing this deck nowadays, necessarily wasn't budget. Even though like the core itself, like the Earth Machine core, deck core is really cheap right now. People were throwing in like Lightning Storm and Forbidden Droplet, and I was like, well, that's it's still out of my price range. So I wanted to provide like a more budget but still competitive deck. So the way I built mine was just playing a bunch of traps. You can also play hand traps, still, of course, and we're going to get some reprints here pretty soon in the Mega Tints, which will make this deck a lot more affordable and more competitive if you want to play cards like Droplet and Lightning Storm as well. But for now, I'm just playing like two copies of Overdrive. Still a really good card. Two copies of EMER. Now, I actually like this card right here because it kind of helps against Mystic Mine. And hopefully mine gets banned in the future, right? But this card's just really good because it can destroy up to cards on the field up to for every 1,000 rune attack of a monster that you tributed. So like if you tribute like for example like Super Express Bullet Train, you can destroy it to like three cards, and this is like just any three cards on field. So this card's really good against like back row removal as well. We're also playing two-dimensional barrier. And then the two Torrential Tributes just kind of round off at the end. We're just playing the one Call by the Grave. It's a 40 card deck. Now, originally I was playing Trap Trick instead of Call by the Grave, and that's the reason I'm playing like these traps right here. But you can also play cards like Rivalry of Warlords, which does really good in this deck because you play nothing but like Earth monsters. I'm sorry, Machine monsters. Once again, like Skill Drain as well is also a really good card because you can sometimes just like sit on Citadel for a while. But yeah, like I said, I was playing this particular package here because I was playing Trap Trick for a while, and I may still play Trap Trick. Who knows? Might just, I just make it 41 cards. But for now, this has actually worked pretty good. Torrential Tribute is still a really good card that can board wipe. Dimensional Barrier, it's a really good card as well. Like if you're playing against like sprites, you call it XYZs. Tournaments, you call it fusions. And they're really, prevent your opponent from going too far with their combos. And then Call by the Grave, just a really good card to like negate those hand traps that they might try to get you with. That's basically it, guys, for the main deck. For the extra deck, we're still playing the 3 copies of Infinitrack Goliath. I'm playing the 1 Platinum Gadget because it's kind of like necessary for our combos. The 1 Ancient Gear Ballista, Double Head and Anchor Knuckle, still a really good card. Fleetfoot Genius, really good card as well. The 1 Gear Gigging because it's kind of helpful for your combo. The 1 Stormer, of course. The Slicer. I'm playing 2 Superdora, and the reason why is because I had 14 cards in my extra deck, so I had 1 slot left, so I just threw in the extra Superdora. The 1 Gustav Max, the 1 Lieb, and of course the 1 Zeus here. And it's basically, guys, the extra deck. Yeah, these cards all work out pretty good. You don't normally use all of them most of the time. You kind of play around what you have. But yeah, this deck is still pretty interesting, guys. Now we're gonna get into the combo part of the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this camera adjusted. I'm gonna shuffle up the deck, give you guys one solid test hand here, and I'll be right back in a second. Alright, guys, so we're now at the combo part of the video here. We're gonna do this slightly different from like normal videos. Rather than drawing out 5 random cards, I'm gonna sort of like fix my hand here just to kind of showcase you guys what the Winnie the Pooh cards can actually do. But we are still going to draw like 2 cards just to play out a 5 card test hand here. So we're going to go shuffle up our deck and just draw out the top 2 cards from the deck as well. And we're going to play that out. So draw into a Derek Crane and to a Machina Redeployment. Already this is actually looking pretty good here. And also keep in mind that we did fix our deck here. But perfectly fine. We are playing multiple copies of all these cards anyways. This is not like an impossible hand to draw here. But yeah, you can what you can do here is actually go and activate like your Machina Redeployment, for example. I'm going to go ahead and pitch your gear frame from your graveyard for its effect, or to pay cost, I mean. I'm going to go ahead and add another Machina gear frame and also the Unclasped Bear. Unclasped Bear effect will trigger, guys, because it was added to hand. You can go and special summon it out. And then I can send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. We're going to go ahead and send our Machina Fortress. I do apologize, guys, you can't see the graveyard here. I'm just trying to save some space here, but normal summon out gear frame. You can go and add your Citadel with its effect as well, too, from deck to hand. Now, you have a variety of ways to go about this combo here. Now, for example, you can use your gear frame or Unclasped Bear to make your you can make a a platinum gadget, I believe. Yeah. You go to make your platinum gadget here. Platinum gadget effect will allow you to special summon your harvester. Harvester will then, once it's special summon, allow you to search Dozer. Or you can also use the Dying Mountains here, for example, which is why I wanted to fix this hand here. Like, if you don't know what these cards are, I'm going to go and read it. All these cards have the exact same basic cost where you can discard itself and 1 Earth Monster from your deck, and then proceed to resolve its effect. This one right here, Dying Mountains, will allow you to draw 1 card and then allow you to special summon 1 Earth Monster from your graveyard. The other ones that we play will allow you to like Foolish Burial and then special summon an Earth Monster from your graveyard, and then the other one will allow you to search for another one of these cards except for itself, and then special summon 1 Earth Monster from your graveyard. Like, for example, here we're going to go and activate the Dying Mountains effect. Launch the pitch itself and Harvester to the graveyard, and then launch to draw 1 card from the top of our deck. Then launch to special summon out 1 Earth Monster from our graveyard, which will go to special summon out a Harvester. Harvester effect upon summon allows us to search for Dozer now. And so that's the reason why I like these Winnie the Pooh cards, guys, because they just do so much. Like, had we gotten Ashen Primber Baylor, we still could activate the Dying Mountains effect, brought out Harvester, and we could have got a full combo. But now we've actually drawn into like Regulus, which is really good now. And we can still do a variety of things here too as well. If you wanted to have like some follow-up for next turn, you can at this point just go ahead and make like a Gear Gigant here. You can go ahead and detach Gear material from Gear Gigant to activate its effect, and allow you to search for a Harvester for next turn as well. Since we do play 2 copies of Dozer, adding a Harvester from our deck to our hand is not a bad thing at all. This will also allow us to like deck then when we use Tunneler's effect to draw 2 cards, so we're not drawing into like cards that are useless. Then you can go and activate your Dozer's effect here, tribute off your Gear Gigant, special summon itself out. And I did misplay that. Before you do that though, you can also go ahead and activate Regulus's effect, guys. You can special summon itself out by targeting a machine monster and equipping it to it. And don't ever forget that whenever you do, you always want to kind of equip Gear Frame in the graveyard because Gear Frame has the ability to special summon itself out once it's equipped to a monster. You got one extra monster on field as well. Now Dozer effect, guys, we're going to resolve that. That was a misplay on my part, I apologize. Now we're going to go ahead and special out the Trencher from deck. Then you can overlay these two here to make your first Stormer. Now, since we already have Regulus in hand, we don't need to add it with the Stormer effect, but this is normally you would add your Regulus. And like I said, if you can't afford Regulus, just do the combo the old way where you add the Super Bowl Express train. However, we do have Derek Crane on field already, so this kind of like makes it a little bit better. You can actually activate Stormer's effect. And we're going to go ahead and add our Super Bowl Express train from deck to hand. Like I said, and if you wanted to add Regulus here at this point, you can also add Regulus, and now you can search for your Omni Negate. However, though, since we did draw into it with one of the Poo cards, we don't need to do that. And now we can, at this point, let's see, we can go ahead and use Stormer's effect. I'm sorry, we can link off Stormer here, make our first Infinitrite Goliath. Activate Stormer's effect, guys, in Graveyard, tribute off the Goliath to special summon itself out. And you don't necessarily activate Goliath's effect here at this point. We go and link off your Stormer once again for a second Goliath. Now using both your Goliath and your Gear Frame here, we can at this point just go ahead and make our Ancient Gear Ballista. Its effect will trigger upon summon. Allow us to search for the Ancient Gear box. Ancient Gear box, guys, will now trigger, allowing you to search for the Tunneler. So we have 6 cards in hand, which is doing really good here. You can at this point, like, let's say, you can special out your Bullet Train. We're going to use Teller's effect to tribute off the Ballista, special itself out. Link off the Tunneler here to make our Infinitrite Goliath. Now use your Goliath, use your Super Bowl Express Train. We're going to go ahead and make our double-headed Anger Knuckle. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and use double-headed Knuckle's effect here. We're going to go ahead and send the Gearbox to the graveyard to special summon out our Super Bowl Express Train. Or Super Express Bullet Train. This will not trigger Derek Crane to special summon itself out. Now you can go and overlay these two to make a Super Dora here. And of course, you can always detach here just so you can get the effect of Super Bowl Express Train in the graveyard during your end phase. So we're able to add a card back. You can detach target itself. Now we still have Harvester and Citadel in hand. And also at this point, you can go and activate your Machina Fortress here by pitching the Citadel to graveyard, special itself out. Now you can use Harvester's effectors, but something that I like to do a lot is that you can use your Harvester here, so is why I left it on the field. Target Fortress, make 2 level 9 monsters. You can overlay these two. Make your Slicer. Now you can detach 1 card from Slicer. You can pop 1 card off field. What you want to do is just go ahead and just pop itself. And this will bring out your Citadel from graveyard. And then now we can go ahead and proceed to activate the effect of Tunneler in the graveyard. So we can go ahead and banish our Tunneler here. I'm going to shuffle 5 cards back into the deck. I'm going to shuffle the 3 Infinitrite Goliaths, the Ancient Gear Ballista, and then the Gear Gigant. That's 5 cards there. And this will allow us to draw 2 cards from deck. We're going to shuffle up our deck really good here, guys, and draw 2 cards. Normally what you want to drive here is you want to maybe like a TT or a Dimensional Barrier or one of your traps as well. If you're playing hand traps, right, you want to draw into some of your hand traps. So I'm not going to overdrive. And a Dawn Mountain, which is still not bad at all. We do have a pretty good follow-up next turn. Yeah, this is actually not that bad at all, because Mach and Overdrive will allow us to shuffle cards back into the deck. Allow us to draw 2 more cards on our turn as well. Now don't forget, guys, during the end phase, after you set your Overdrive, of course, Super Bowl Express Train will trigger, allowing you to add. In this particular case, we're going to go ahead and add our Unclasper. That way we got something for next turn as well. Because we can normal summon out Unclasper, send Ruin Force to the graveyard, that way we got a bigger monster off field. Now, on our opponent's turn, what we have here is a Omni Negate, a board wipe here. You can also detach the Derek Crane from Super Dora. And this way you can just target itself, so that way it's unaffected by card effects. And Derek Crane also will trigger in the graveyard, allowing you to pop 1 card on field. You can also use your double-headed Anger Knuckle. You can pitch your Harvester to the graveyard, for example, and special summon out the Super Bowl Express Train. That way, whenever you activate Overdrive, you can actually just target Super Bullet Express Train, allowing you to destroy to special summon out a Machina card from a Machina card from deck to hand. So at this point, you can go and like summon out your Metal Cruncher. This would allow you to search for. I mean, this would allow you to reveal 3 cards and add one from deck to hand. Just whatever you want to do. You can add, for example, you can add like reveal like the Dozer. And there's really not that many cards in deck that we can actually reveal. So you reveal something like this right here: Gear Frame, Derek Crane, Dozer, and just like randomly add one to hand. Just add like our Gear Frame, for example, here, right? And you still got, like I said, decent follow up for next turn as well. And then also, like, like let's just say that we end up using Citadel on our opponent's turn. We use the Regulus as well. We're kind of just like left with this right here after our board wipe and the Omni Negate. Also, like during the end phase of our opponent's turn, if we manage to survive that turn, which we probably will, guys, this is actually pretty good right here. Verbal Expression will let trigger one more time, allowing you to add like a Earth monster from your graveyard back to your hand. You can actually just add your Regulus again. That way you have it as a follow-up for next turn. Then when you draw your 5th card here, which will be the Awakening Forest. Yeah, just a lot of things you can still do here. Like for example, like you can normal summon out your Enclasper. This will send Ruin Force to graveyard. You can at this point also just go and activate your King Regulus, allow you to equip the Gear Frame to it. Put this in attack position here as well. You can activate like your double-headed anger. You can activate double-headed anger knuckle. You can send your Enclasper to graveyard, allowing you to special summon your Super Bowl Express Train. You can actually activate your Thawing Mountains here. I'm sorry, yeah, Thawing Mountains, send Gear Frame to the graveyard. You can special summon out. So you'll actually be allowed to draw 1 card. You can special summon out your Derek Crane. Overlay those two. You make your Gustav Max. You can detach a material here from Derek Crane. So you can detach your Derek Crane. Derek Crane will trigger your line to pop a card. Your opponent takes 2,000 damage. You can also still make your leap here as well. Yeah, you can activate your heavy forward still as well here. Add your Dozer here from deck to hand. Don't forget, guys, that we also still have Ruin Force in the graveyard as well. So you can go ahead and banish. Let's see what you can banish. You can banish your Gear Frame, your Unclasp. You're gonna banish your other Gear Frame as well too. And then special summon out your Ruin Force. And that should be enough to LTK there. You got 4,600, 2,832, 28, 4,000. If this wasn't enough as well, for example, you can use your Dozer to tribute off Cruncher. You can go ahead and link here for Infinite Track Goliath. Now you can actually use your Slasher's effect in Graveyard or your Stormer, just depending on what you want to do. So we're going to use our Slasher here and tribute off the Goliath to special summon itself out. The Goliath effect will trigger, guys, in the graveyard and like to attach it to a monster here. And then you can go ahead and proceed to activate Slasher's effect. You can either pop 1 card your opponent controls, or you can actually activate Heavy Forward, attach it to it. You can detach both materials, pop 1 card your opponent controls, and you can also pop Slasher itself. And this will allow you to bring back Citadel from graveyard. Now you can proceed to activate Citadel's effect, guys, to pop itself, allowing you to board wipe your opponent's field again. And we still can do, let's see, you can still, I mean, you got a lot to do. You can banish your Machina Overdrive. You can, at this point, shuffle back your Tunneler, shuffle back your Trencher, for example. You can shuffle your Harvester. Plan to draw 2 more cards as well from your deck. And some decent follow-up for next turn in case you can't OTK your opponent. This big video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Earth machines can still do quite a bit of lot. It reminds me of like Dragon League now. It just has like so much follow up, so much potential. I hope this deck, hope this deck continues to get like more support in the future because it's super fun to play with. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you hit that like button down below. Also, guys, if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. It's just like a super easy way for you guys to support me as a content creator and support this channel. And also, I'm going to give you guys a little tip here. If you subscribe to my channel, I guarantee you guys you will always draw the out. So if you want to draw the out to mine, draw the out to whatever card is problematic. Subscribe today, guys. I guarantee you will always draw the out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hit that like button down below. But anyways, we'll catch you guys on the next one.